Hey guys, thanks for watching Nerf Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing the Nerf Elite SnapFire. This came out in sort of a new series. It's not really a series because it's just called Elite Guns, but it came out with like the Sharp Fire here and the Double Down where they look very similar. It has a nice orange color with a little bit of silver or gray and white on it. A little bit different. This gun is very similar to like the Jolt because it's just very slim and very minimized, except the plunger is on the top here and it has a couple of dart holders here, so it's very similar to it. This gun does have some actually pretty nice sights on it, which is kind of cool compared to like the Jolt or something. They kind of stick out a little bit more, which I really like having sights on guns. It's my thing. This gun does not open on the side like some guns. It does open on the back, so I'm not sure if we're doing internal reviews, but we've got the 4 screws in the back there and only 1 on here instead of on the side. You can use a sling adapter. You couldn't use one in these holes because this piece is way too big, but if you wanted, you could put it where the darts are, which is, you could do that as well. Works just fine. So yeah, this does have the 2 dart holders here, and it does squeeze the darts a bit too much, I have to say, because I feel like when you leave them in there for too long, you're definitely going to make an indent in the dart, which is not all that good. So how this gun works, basically what you do, you put your dart in the front here, you prime this back, and you're able to pull the trigger. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to pull the trigger. That's actually kind of a weird part in the cons, where there's a pin on the bottom instead of on the top, so when you pull it, you have to pull it from the top side, where like, say for example, the hammer shot here, when you pull the trigger, you have to pull it from the bottom side, not the top side, which is a little bit awkward because normally you allow your finger to just sit on the little rest on the bottom, so you have to raise your finger up and pull the trigger. Otherwise, it'll be way too hard to pull the trigger, which is kind of annoying. So yeah. So for the pros and cons of this gun is very small, which is nice. It's also compact. You can have the 2 dart holders on, which is pretty cool. I really like the sight on it because I think it's kind of cool. You can see down that. For the cons of this, the range is not all that great. About the same as a Jolt or something. It's not like a rifle like something else, but it's not that great. Also, another con is the trigger is a big issue because you have to get used to having your finger on the top side to pull the trigger because it's just a little bit easier to pull it when it's on the top side. So now we'll get into the internal reviews with Adam.
Alright guys, so here I have the SnapFire. I'm just going to take it apart real quickly. This is actually a really simple gun. It's got 4 screws on it, and they're all on the back plunger, similarly to the rest of the guns in this series. Alright, so after removing the screws, you can see the basic plunger system. Back down the chamber here, you can see where you can remove the air restrictor if you desire. There is indeed an air restrictor in there, and it's a pretty beefy one, so that's something you might want to do when you get this gun. You have a standard plunger system here. The spring's a little bit shorter than normal because it's a short pull, but it's just a really basic system. You can see how the trigger functions, how it reaches back here, and that's why this is kind of a hard trigger to pull. The spring is going to be upgradable from this point. You just have to remove this screw, and then you just pull it off. However, I don't know if I'd recommend upgrading the spring on this because the trigger pulls hard enough now. Upgrading the spring is going to make the trigger even harder to pull, and that's just kind of that just makes it a little bit difficult. So really basic gun. I really think it's kind of nice how Nerf is making these basic, easy to modify guns. Yeah, but this is essentially just a single plastic shell with this thrown on. Trigger is set in there, and actually you can remove a little tiny barrel assembly. Not that that's going to do anything. I think it takes off this sight here. But yeah, so it's a really basic gun. As for internals, like the other guns in this sub-series of the Nerf Elite series, I would recommend this just because it's, from an internal perspective, it's really well made. It's just a simple 4 screws, and you can remove the air restrictors, upgrade the spring, do whatever you want with it. So yeah, let's get on to the shooting test.
Alright, so we've got an 80-foot reel lined up. Let's start the shooting. 3 more darts. So for the range of this gun, the darts landed from 26 to 42 feet. It was very accurate, so I'd say the effective range would probably be around 25 feet, which is decent. I think that this gun is pretty cool. It's very similar to like the Jolt because it's just very simple, except the plunger's on the top instead of in the handle, and it's got, it has like these holes in it so you can have a sling on it. But I like this gun. It's pretty cool. It has obviously the 2 dart holders, which is a little bit better than the Jolt. It's kind of more of a gun, like a throwaway gun. You can just toss it around. You wouldn't really care if you damaged it or destroyed it or something because it's pretty cheap. So overall I like this gun. I would use it possibly as a 3rd weapon or something if I were to be down, but I don't know if I would recommend this as a primary anything in battle. So thanks for watching Nerf Elite reviews, and I'll see you guys next time.